So Tug, what was it like going from the Hornet to the F3?
Oh, I feel bad for the F3. Okay, it's not gonna measure up to the Hornet. There were some good things. I was looking forward to being on a British fighter squadron again. I was looking forward to flying with a navigator again. A lot of people have this thing that, you know, single seat's the only way to go. You've got to be top dog and all that sort of stuff. I loved flying with navigators. I loved having somebody else in the cockpit. We were so much better than just one person in the cockpit. And if you divert somewhere, you got somebody to have a beer with straight away. So I loved that whole thing. So I was looking forward to twin seat again. The F3 had a terrible reputation among fighters. Some of it deserved, some of it not. So, but the bottom line was, I'd had my tour in paradise. I was never going to be able to stay there for the rest of my life. What's next? You know, and to get a third fast jet in my logbook to fly it at the front line was something special in those days, you know, unheard of. I know some people have got 3 or 4, but we're the exception, not the rule. So it was going to be something else in my logbook. And I'll be honest with you, I went to the F3 OCU completely open mind and just thought, well, let's see what it can do for me.
And when you went to the OCU, did everyone know you'd just come from the Hornet?
Yeah. Right. So there was a certain amount of you know, looking sideways at this guy because here he is coming from the Hornet. I bet they probably thought I knew it all. When I didn't, I've never been really like that. Yeah, I've got this kind of fighter pilot bravado about me, but that's all part of the thing of how to win a fight and such. But I came here thinking I don't know how to do intercepts in UK airspace. I know how to do UK air defence. So I'd just not done them in a Tornado F3 before. And bearing in mind I've been running my own radar for the last 3 years, I do know how to handle a radar and what an intercept is supposed to look like and a bit of weaponeering. So, but still had an open mind about the aeroplane when I turned up.
And what would you say are the strengths and weaknesses of the F3, and how did it compare to the Hornet in certain areas?
Right. So with this aeroplane, it's the fastest aeroplane I've ever flown. Down at low level, it was slippery as anything. Nothing could get away from this. Not in an F111. But you got it above 5,000 feet, and it started to become a bit of a gutless tub. The engines were maximised for low level intercept, because that's what we thought we were going to be intercepting, Russian missiles coming in and have to take them out down there. It's also set up for a big loiter time on combat air patrol, and so the Air Force got exactly what it asked for. It's just not a fighter. That's the thing. It's not a true blue fighter. The bomber side of it is extremely successful, and as we've always said, you can't turn a bomber into a fighter, but you can do it the other way around. So there was some great thing. The radar compared to the Phantom radar I'd had was so much better. It wasn't as good as the F-18D radar that I'd had. No, that was brilliant.
I thought the F3 would have a better radar by the time you got to the F3.
F3 had a better radar than the F-18A that I flew, and a better and the same weapons suite. So on the F-18D I had AMRAAM. On the F-18A I just had Sparrow, which is basically Skyflash with a bit more fuel in it. So I was, again, you know, there was plenty. It was not going to match up to a Hornet anywhere near it with handling, but bearing in mind 1v1 isn't really how we go to war. 1v1 is something that we do to puff our chests out a little bit on fighter squadrons, but we go to war completely coordinated with other aeroplanes. This aeroplane also had the best data link of its time, JTIDS, and our ability to coordinate with each other in a formation was at the time I think second to none, and that's what we maximised this aeroplane to do.